In an exclusive interview here on Al Arabiya English, we'll be getting the latest on a defence pact signed between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Any attack on either nation will be considered an attack on both. Well, this strategic mutual defence agreement was signed during a visit to the kingdom by the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who held talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Well, I'll be speaking to Musadik Malik, who is a Pakistani government spokesperson, for all the details on that deal. Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have signed a defence pact pledging that any attack on either nation will be considered an attack on both. Well, this strategic mutual defence agreement was signed during a visit to the kingdom by the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who held talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the Al Yamama Palace. Well, in a statement, the visiting Pakistani Prime Minister thanked the Crown Prince for his, quote, keen interest in expanding Saudi investments, trade and business ties. Well, accompanying the Pakistani Prime Minister on that visit to Riyadh was Musadik Malik, who is a Pakistani government spokesperson who joins us now. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to us.
My pleasure.
Now, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have a strong and historic relationship. Military ties between the two countries go back decades. Why is this deal so significant in your opinion?
I think it's the relationship that you're referring to, which goes back since the creation of Pakistan. And frankly, if you look at the roots of this relationship, they go back 1400, 1500 years. So the brotherhood that had historically, I think, has manifested itself in various forms. At every juncture when Pakistan has needed support, the kingdom has been by the Pakistani side. Whether it was economic development or defense-related matters or diplomacy, the kingdom was already there and always there. And same goes for Pakistan. If you walk down the streets of Pakistan, you would find out that even a common man would say that we are going to be there by the side of our Saudi brethren if the two holy mosques are ever attacked. And it needed no treaty. Every Pakistani would tell you the same. So I think what was implicit before and unstated has taken the form of a treaty. And that's the most significant part of this treaty, that it's now kind of a relationship which is documented. But this relationship has been there forever.
OK, so let's talk about what's been agreed on. An attack on one nation means an attack on both. And I want to ask you, what message does that send out to the world?
I think it sends out the message of brotherhood. And it sends out the same message that the North Atlantic Treaty gave to the world, that this is not offensive, this is not aggressive, this is not against anyone. This is a defensive treaty where countries who have cultural ties, who have religious ties, who have all kinds of relationships, economic relationships, other relationships, they come together and they're going to exchange technology, they're going to exchange training, they're going to share innovations, and they're going to have joint military exercises to make sure that the experiences that we've had over the past several decades being extremely better, battle hard, and we share them and become a formidable force.
OK, just talk us through some of the details of the deal. What concretely does it provide for?
I mean, it's kind of like many other defensive. I think the best way of looking at it is to look at NATO. It's not an aggressive treaty. It doesn't fight for attacking anyone. But if any of the countries in NATO framework are attacked, it would be deemed as if all of them have been attacked. So we've had this relationship or tacit understanding for several decades, or frankly, forever. It's just that we have now articulated it in the form of a treaty.
OK, and do you think this deal is going to make the region safer? And as an extension of that question, do you think the deal could be extended to other countries in the Gulf?
I think very good relationships, very deep relationships with a lot of countries. But the kind of relationship that we have with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is unprecedented. So I'm not terribly sure how our relationship with other countries would pan out. But if there was a larger work, and I'm not committing to anything, but I would like to believe that if there was a larger framework which created more stability and more peace, Pakistan is always open to discuss that lead to peace and stability. So we would take into account anything that comes our way, but only in the way of something that creates peace and stability in the region and doesn't create any, we don't want to be part of anything that destabilizes the region.
Okay, and of course, you've just come back from Riyadh, and I saw all the flags there welcoming the Pakistani delegation to the Saudi capital in the last few days. As well as strengthening defence cooperation with the kingdom, just tell us what else was agreed during that state visit.
I think this round was exclusively about our defense agreement, and we spoke about a lot of different elements of that, including, as I mentioned to you earlier, exercises, technologies, and sharing, intelligence sharing, technology sharing, and so on and so forth. So this visit was primarily focused on that.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. Musadik Malik, Pakistani government spokesperson, thank you very much for your time, sir. Well, you can see that exclusive interview in full on our Saudi business show, The Real Deal, which airs as ever on Monday.